Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to AVX Live. I'm Joe Gilderson, President of Corporate Audio Visual Services. And as you can see, I'm in a different location again this week. Last week, we came live from C&A Digital's offices in White Plains. Phenomenal offices. I was there with my friend Elena Rivera-Cheek, who just celebrated her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Elena. But today, we're actually in our New York City office and warehouse, which is in Midtown Manhattan. And we're down at West 37th Street between 8th and 9th. And I figured we get to meet some of the team today. But before we introduce everyone, let me just remind everybody that you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We're here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. While you're on one of those channels, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And look, anytime you want, just drop a comment, be a part of the show. We'll try to bring you on camera live. And certainly, if you don't get a chance to watch the video, go back, take a look at all the videos. This is episode 103. So there's a few other things of interest in the previous shows. And afterwards, we usually have some little shark bites, some little video clips. That Shark Bites is, of course, courtesy of my friend Andrew Castellano. And but go on to LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll have some short video clips. But I think now is a good time to get things going. So as many people know, we have an office outside of the city and a 10,000 square foot warehouse there. And then 25 miles in, we have an office in Midtown Manhattan. And so we have offices and we have equipment and inventory stored here. And we're actually one of only a few companies that have inventory and audiovisual equipment in Manhattan. So it becomes a pretty big deal. It's very convenient for a lot of people, whether we're doing work or where other people might come into New York City and they may need some last minute equipment. That's usually where we're able to help out. So I wanted everybody to get to know our Manhattan team. And while we do have some people who are out in the field today, as we have an event happening right now, we have our main account management team right here. So we're going to introduce some people and welcome everybody to the show. So we're going to start to my right. This is Lou Ramirez. Lou is actually one of our newest people. So Lou's only been with us about 2 weeks now. But maybe, Lou, you could just tell people kind of your background and how you came to us.
Great. Good afternoon, Joe. Good afternoon, everybody who's viewing. My name is Lou Ramirez. I've worked in the industry for quite a period of time now. Started out as an AV specialist, moved my way up the ranks, assistant manager, site manager, director for properties in New Jersey and in New York City. Moved on, worked in national account sales and global account sales, another stint at venues in New York, and then recently as a AV production manager. So that's really kind of my background, and that's what led me kind of to corporate audiovisual.
That's pretty cool. Sounds like you spent a lot of time in hotel properties, conference centers, the core of hospitality is what it sounds like.
That's correct. And I've worked at a number of different chains and traveling with national accounts and global accounts across the country. Had an opportunity to work in venues that I never would have seen before. So I did have an opportunity to see the country, see how things operate in the South, in the Midwest, and on the West Coast. So.
And which one of those areas is the best? I'm just kidding. Don't answer. All right. Well, then, listen, thank you. I appreciate that background. I also want everybody to be introduced to Chris Pereira. Chris is actually our operations manager and has been with us a couple of years at this point. But Chris, why don't you walk everybody through your history a little bit?
Well, thanks for having me, Joe. And kind of like Lou, I've been in this business in one form or another for many years, working mostly in large hotels. I've had experience traveling a little bit as well over the years all across the country. So I would say the Northeast is probably the best place, but we play no favorites in this business. I'm also involved for many years in audio in terms of music production, performance. I've done a little radio, done a little TV over the years, but most of it has been within the big box hotels in many different roles. Right now, I do a little bit of everything for the company. I have the opportunity to showcase my talents in many different ways, and it's been a year and a half, and it's been a great year and a half.
Very cool. Well, as everybody can see, a lot of our people come from the hospitality centric fields of the production business, which is why we spend so much time focusing on service and the client experience we talk about. And of course, that's what the show is named on. AV Experiences, AVX. That's why we've named it that, because it is all about the experience, not necessarily about the single pieces of equipment that get brought to show site, but it's how it all comes together and what the experience is for the client and for that day, evening, for that particular conference or meeting. But I guess a nice place to start would be how did you get into this?
So
When you first started.
I would say it had to do with my love of music. I was really a big fan of going to concerts, and when I went to college, I had an opportunity to be involved in a couple of concert organizations at Rutgers. There was one for smaller venues, and there was one for larger venues. I had an opportunity to assist the other colleges within the university with their events as well, and attend. So really, the love of music kind of drew me into concert production while I was at school. Upon graduation, there was a regional manager for a local audiovisual company who had worked in the same concert organization that I did, and he helped influence hiring decisions at that time. So really, I would just really pinpoint that my love of music and concerts kind of led me to corporate production.
That's pretty interesting. Wow. That's pretty cool. I didn't know they'd break it out like that too. So that's pretty wild. Chris, how about you? How'd you get into this?
Well, in my college years, I did more film, radio, television production. And after I graduated, I went down to Washington, D.C., and I just happened to have a favorite uncle who worked for United Way, their headquarters in Virginia. And I joined the team as an in-house audiovisual manager. And as part of that responsibility, I had a chance to interact with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies who were on the executive boards. I also was able to travel the country because we would have quarterly big events. So I got a chance to see a lot of different areas of the experience, at the highest level right from the beginning. And
cool.
So I kind of took that experience, and through the years, I did some television work with, local cable TV up in Westchester. I also did some radio work, but I always, from that point on, was involved with hospitality in the AV area. And like I said, mostly, pretty much exclusively with big box hotels, as we call them. And it forces you to learn a lot quickly. And it was a proving ground, which I was glad I had.
Well, a little known fact is in the past, corporate AV worked with both of these fine gentlemen in various capacities. We used to go into certain properties. I certainly remember Chris from working at the Hilton and our celebration of teaching and learning event that we did for probably a decade anyways. But we used to interact together and work together in kind of a wide variety of ways. And, Lou, we've worked with in a couple of different ways too. I remembered your name from a hotel way back. And then we, of course, worked together at the Convene properties and, in another capacity. So it's a small world, as we all say. And that's partly why we get to interact with so many people around the country, because it is small. And you just heard both of them tell you about traveling, right? That you guys are both involved in kind of some traveling projects. And I don't think a lot of people know, but we actually travel too. We probably we've been spending a lot of time in Austin, Texas, for whatever reason.
I hear it's a great town. That's one place I haven't been to yet.
I haven't either, and it's certainly well known for music, and I do want to actually get there. We have an event there in May. There's a chance I might get to go there for
maybe the next AVX Live in Austin in May.
Maybe. That's a pretty good point. I like your thinking here, Chris. But I think a way we could probably tell people is, how we can help them here in New York City. I'm going to pop the phone number up here so some people see. And just so you know, like, again, we have equipment right here. There's microphones, there's speakers, there's mixers, there's TVs, there's projectors, there's screens, kind of anything and everything you're going to need. There's lenses, there's all sorts of, Zoom equipment that's going to be needed. I mean, these are all things that we can accommodate very quickly. But anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I would just like to say that we're available to go on site, do site surveys, provide support as needed for your events, conferences, galas, even small restaurant meetings. Be happy to support you. Chris and I would work together in tandem and along with our technical staff to be able to support for short-term rentals or even longer-term meetings.
Very good, very good. Chris, anything you want to add?
Well, along with that, and well said, Lou, is that we offer expertise. Sometimes people call up and they say, I want to have a meeting, but I don't really know what it is that I want to do or what I need. And that's where we can help out, because we can help you shape the meeting. We can offer advice about the way to set up your rooms, maybe some things that you haven't thought about before. I know the hybrid element is really big now, and a couple of years ago, no one did it. And it kind of came out of a needed situation with COVID. But these are the sort of things where there might be options that you're not even thinking of. So we're here to assist in all facets.
Well, these are good points. And I think what a lot of people underestimate is that New York has unusual spaces in New York City,
Right.
which is very different from Orlando, Las Vegas, Chicago. Like, there is some, you said big box, like hotels, that they're big rectangles. And big rectangles are easier to work in. We don't have a lot of big rectangles in New York City. There's a lot of odd spaces that are really cool, but there's some logistics that go into working there. And I think having a local team that's familiar with these venues and, of course, is based a few blocks away really helps out in the planning stages and the designing stages. And I think that would be a great way for you guys to help out our clients coming into New York City as well.
Absolutely. Between the two of us, we've probably set foot in, almost every hotel that is in the city. But also many restaurants, many little meeting spaces that you may never have heard about. We have relationships with many venues in the city, and we try to bring them business too. People ask us often, where could I have this meeting for this amount of people? And we have recommendations we can give.
Yeah, so we can go on site to your site survey, talk to you about what your plan is for your event or meeting. We'd be happy to put together diagrams, renderings if needed, and move the process forward. But we really just want to let you know that we're here, we're available, and we do have the inventory in the city and a team in the city ready to support you.
Look, I'm going to highlight the inventory again because we have this, fantastic second camera shot. We got a comment here. It seems that one Marissa Madonia wanted to say hello to our New York City team all the way from Westchester. Wow. I didn't even know that Signal could get this far. That is impressive. Thank you, Marissa, for joining us today. Well, this is great. This is great. Look, we're not going to tie everybody up too much today, but I wanted you to get a chance to actually meet our team and see our space and know that we're actually here to help everyone. And the advantage of we've actually been in New York City now for 5 years, which I think a lot of people didn't know because our name in this office used to be Visual Word Systems. And then we made that changeover. If you watch one of the AVX episodes from last year, we made the changeover to another corporate AV office in 2023. And so we have our corporate AV oranges and blues down here. But either way, we're here to support everyone. So we're going to, hold on. We have someone else chiming in. It seems that Boston is also watching and says hello. Of course, that's my father. So he's kind of my biggest fan.
Hey, Joe's dad.
Dad, we'll talk later. It was a good win last night, though. It was a really good win. But of course, we're referring to the future world champion Boston Celtics, but we're not going to talk about that. But listen, thank you, everyone. We'll be in contact soon. I put the phone number up here for everyone, 212-629-8383. We're on West 37th between 8th and 9th. Feel free to reach out to Lou, reach out to Chris, contact anyone on the team. We're happy to help out at any point. Next week, we're going to have my friend Omar Colomb on, and he's going to be talking about AV Educate's new programs. And so we'll have him on as a guest next Wednesday. But meanwhile, everybody can check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube every Wednesday, 1 p.m. While you're there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And just like Marissa and my father, of course, drop us a comment, be a part of the show. If you miss anything, go to YouTube, check out the whole, what did Ryan call it, a videography or some sort of very big word that I'm not allowed to use. And of course, Alexa's going to pop up some video short clips that we'll have on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. But I think that is how we're going to wrap up today. Can I go to my second camera shot again? Do we need to highlight this? I mean, I have all the resources right here, so we'll just highlight it today. But listen, that's all we got for right now. I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week, same time, same day, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. We'll see everyone.